Hey, that's a wrap, y'all. That's a wrap for Harrisburg's Fringe Fest 2026. And I had a blast. I had a great time. And I wanted to check in with all of y'all and see how you thought of the event, see what you thought of the event, and just share some thoughts on the festivities. So, just zooming out, in a broad view, I thought it was excellent how much foot traffic it brought out to Harrisburg, and just driving home Sunday from being out somewhere, driving up Second Street, noticing a lot of people walking around, and that's not often the case for Harrisburg on a Sunday downtown. But there were a smattering of people here and there, and it occurred to me, oh, of course, it's because of Fringe Fest. So that was a real benefit to downtown. And just like an example of if you give people a reason to come downtown, they will come and they will deal with the parking. And, it's just great to have an event and something happen in Harrisburg and showcasing, the talent that we have in the area. So big props, big congratulations to the Fringe Fest for putting this on. And just what a treat to have so many options to choose from. To go see something weird, go see something different. Really glad to have that in the city. So my Fringe Fest began on Wednesday night last week, and I guess that would have been the 20th or the 15th. And there was a kind of a kickoff party at Karma, and it was a happy hour, and there was a performer, and 5, 6, 7 o'clock ish. And I enjoyed going to that, but it occurred to me when I was there, like, where did I hear about this? I wasn't sure if it was on the Facebook page for the Fringe Fest or the Karma Eventbrite, or did I read it in the Berg? I forget where I heard that this was even happening, but, I'm glad I did, and glad I was there, and there was a good turnout, but I just wonder if it was, better advertised, if there would have been more people at the kickoff. Whatever. I had a nice time. So... my next event for Fringe was Friday night. Wasn't until Friday night, even though it really began on Thursday, and I saw chromostereopsis. Yeah, I got it. Chromostereopsis. I practiced that for a while before doing this video. Chromostereopsis. It was an experimental rock show with visuals and live visuals. So it was a drummer and 3 guitarists, and kind of psychedelic, like I said, experimental, unrehearsed, just live music performance. It explored themes of life and death. It had 4 acts: birth, life, death, and the afterlife. And really cool, visuals. It was held at Open Stage. It was nice being back at Open Stage. I hadn't been there in some time. The drummer, to me, kind of led the performance, and the guitarist, not to take anything away from them, but they kind of followed the drummer. And not having done any improvised music in the past, I guess somebody's got to kind of take the lead, so that makes sense. Really happy with the event, good turnout, and something different for sure. And that's something I really enjoy. Just having new experiences, especially something that's so accessible, somewhere where I can just walk. So yeah, that was my Friday night. It's the only thing I did on that night for Fringe Fest. Moving along to Saturday, the next show that I saw was Orbital, which was a dance performance, dance and music, and heavily focused on pole fitness, pole dancing, aerial arts. So we had 5 performers who all had 5 or 6 performers who all had knowledge and some expertise in pole dancing, and it was really great to see an outlet for that. I have some experience with pole myself, and it was just great having a platform for people to share the art form. Again, great turnout. That was also at Open Stage. And the people who put it on, one owns a studio in Lancaster, one owns a studio in York. The owners of our local pole studio, Spinning Hearts, they didn't help organize it, but that doesn't mean they weren't represented. There was one of the performers, Sarah, trained at Spinning Hearts. So, and some other local talent too, who have pole performance. Poof is the stage name of one of them, a friend of mine, Driana. So, again, great to see an outlet for that, and a great turnout. And thanks to all the performers who did that. Next up, I wanted to go see Shitty Mozart, which was held at Gamut, but it was sold out. So amazing for that performer, sold out show. That's great. I wonder how many of the other Fringe performances were sold out. I don't know. I only saw the events that I saw, but that's great. So took the time to go check out the 717 Art Space that's in Soma. It's right across from where can't remember the name of the restaurant. It's there in Soma, 3rd Street. It's a Mexican spot. I can't remember it. Can't remember the name of that place. Anyway, so the 717 Arts spot is there in Soma, right next to Agape, and really glad to see that opening there too. It's wonderful to have a space where you don't need to go eat anything or drink anything or buy a ticket or buy anything. You can just go and check out the gallery. And, they plan to have rotating exhibits there. They plan to do art installations there and maybe some live events. Rent out the space to people who want, an art studio to perform their craft. I think that's badass. That's excellent. So hats off to 717 Arts for opening up their space down there in Soma. And, I mentioned Agape too. Hats off to them too. And props to them for offering 10% off their signature drinks for all the Fringe Fest goers, as well as $2 off cans. So I thought that was a generous offer of them, and another great addition. Yeah, I guess I could say recent addition, but they've been there for a minute now, so it's really not that recent, to Soma. So that's great. So killed some time there, and then I went to the next show, which was, keep forgetting the name of this one. Let me take a look. Which reminds me that this pamphlet, or this program, was key. It was clutch. A lot of people said they had a hard time following the schedule. Well, this solved that problem for me. This timeline was really helpful for me, and I'd like to see more of that. I'm not sure if they did this last year, but this was really important. So the next show that I saw was called Sir Thomas Madden Jr., of course. It was a two-man sketch comedy show. It was really funny. I had a lot of laughs for that. It was at Gamut. It was later on in the night. It was like 9 o'clock, so the turnout wasn't as big as some of the other events. Not to say that it was bad. There were plenty of people there. It just wasn't like nearly sold out. So Sir Thomas Madden Jr. was excellent. I don't think they're local. The program says they're Atlanta and Chicago based, but just really funny sketch comedy, and they have great chemistry, play off each other really well. And just like a reminder to me, a demonstration that you don't need necessarily costumes or sets or like money or budget to put on a great show. They just had great writing, and they had a lot of fun doing it, and it showed. So yeah, really, really pleased with that one. I hope to see him again sometime, but it sounds like it'll probably be a one and done thing in Harrisburg. Who knows? That was it for my Saturday night. Moving along to Sunday, I went to see one more show, and that was Genesis. I saw Genesis to kind of close out Fringe Fest. It was one of the last events offered, and that was back at Open Stage. I enjoyed Genesis a lot. It was a theater production that was, kind of abbreviated. The full version, the audience was told beforehand by the director, is still in the works, and will hopefully come to stage at a platform other than Fringe Fest, but this one was kind of condensed and abbreviated, or fringified, as the director put, to fit into 1 hour. And it was excellent. It was kind of a coming-of-age story of a young woman finding, her place in the world and exploring themes of change and certainty or uncertainty, science and religion, relationships. And just a very, very well done piece, and again, showing off some of the local talent here, and really value that. And that one was not sold out exactly, but still a great turnout. And just, great energy, feel-good moment for everyone involved. A lot of people stuck around afterwards, just hanging out in the lobby, wanting to talk to some of the talent, talk to some of the writers. So that was just great to see. So, Fringe Fest, again, I can't, say enough good about it. If I had any constructive criticism, it would just be the website, that goes back to some of the scheduling concerns some people had. And it wasn't the easiest to follow, to be honest. The finding, what events to go to. It wasn't impossible, but I just like seeing the kind of the timeline organized better, and I would have put that forward more. I have really no other criticism of it. Again, I am grateful to the organizers who put so much time and effort into making this happen. All the people who supported with funds and whatever grants and government assistance helped put this show on. Much appreciated there. It's money put to good use. Wonderful talent and people who showed courage and bravery to bring their visions to life. Really glad to have that and honored that they shared that with all of us. And hoping we can do more Fringe Fest and more events like this in the city and just keep our momentum going. I've shared with people, as of late, really since like May, I felt more optimism in downtown and in Harrisburg in general. I feel like we're starting to simmer. And I'm just enjoying our nightlife and the offerings and the things that are showing up. I tell people that the stuff is out there. You just have to look for it. You have to, I don't know, in a way, take a chance and get out there and partake in what the city does have to offer. So I will see you at a spot somewhere around the city for the next cool show we've got, and I'm sure it'll be before next year's Fringe Fest because we got a whole year to go for that. All right, y'all. See you around.